Ladies and gentlemen, now having known about the diagnostic procedures, differential diagnosis, as well as the control, now we move on to the holistic approach or how to treat symptomatically the disease. Now I call upon Dr. N. Krishna Reddy, who has been in the clinical side from the day he joined service in Karnataka Milk Federation. So he joined service in KMF in the year 1983, and from then he worked there purely as a clinician, and then finally he retired from service as additional director. And now also, after his retirement last year, he is very busy as a consultant, and he has got a fair knowledge in homeopathic treatment of bovines, and he will be discussing the various aspects about the treatment of bovines with homeopathic medicine. So it's over to Dr. Krishna Reddy for the treatment of lumpy skin disease of bovines. Dr. Krishna Reddy, please.
Start. Good evening, friends. I welcome all the viewers for this presentation on lumpy skin disease. I was thankful to Dr. Nadeem sir, who is my professor in the veterinary college, for giving me the opportunity to present this small presentation on lumpy skin disease. As you are all aware that lumpy skin disease is a new disease occurring in India as such, and in Karnataka for the past 6 months we are seeing this disease of the villages. I am not going to touch any detailed aspect of the disease as such because it is already explained by Dr. Bhairavagoda, director, and his faculty about the disease, its source, etiology, and its pathology, and vaccination and diagnostic process. I am going to touch mainly on how holistic approach for treatment and control of lumpy skin disease. It is a poxviral disease of cattle with a major socioeconomic impact. In the field, we see these following symptoms of fever from moderate to high fever, and multiple forms of skin nodules all over the body, and necrotic flakes on the mucous membranes, mainly respiratory tract and oral cavity, swelling of peripheral lymph nodes. So that it is closely related to shift on both parts. In the economic effect, because it is affected mainly dairy animals. Severe emaciation we see, and lower milk production, abortion in some cases, and secondary mastitis, loss of infertility, excessive damage to the hide, and loss of growth from lameness. Morbidity is more, and mortality is not reported in Karnataka matter, but it is informed it is 1 to 2% is there. These are the pictures we have taken in the field. See swelling of the peripheral lymph nodes, swelling of the limbs, and other nodules all over the body, even udder also. In the nodules you have seen udder. End cause of 1 month pregnancy was also affected. Transmission is mainly due to mosquitoes and flies. You know, in villages, very unhygienic conditions we see. So definitely during this rainy season, we'll see these lumpy skin disease and transmission usually by mosquitoes and flies. And it is possible to transmit even this virus through milk and discharges. So we should be very careful while dealing with transmission and treatment and other aspects, and we should educate the farmers. Clinical signs what we observe. Before appearance of any nodules, there will be incubation period of 5 days to 5 weeks. Majorly we see the skin nodules and others, vary from few to hundreds of sizes, and mainly legs becomes very swollen and developed sores, enlarged superficial nodes, and in chronic cases we see pneumonia and cough as a result of secondary infection. These are the skin lesions what we see. And many other skin symptoms. You see, especially legs. When legs are swollen, at one particular point, these nodules are broken and start discharging pus and serous fluids. See, in udder also, treats are also inflamed. It's a very pathogenic condition. In this photo, you can see the skin lesions in severely affected animals. When postmortem is conducted, we see in the hide skin lesions and lesions in the gastrointestinal tract also. Characteristic skin nodules we see here, and lesions on the mucous membrane throughout the gastric GI tract, and nodules in lungs also we see, and hemorrhages in the spleen, liver, and rumen. Differential diagnosis, most of the veterinarians are confusing with the other diseases, mainly with the pseudo diseases. We have to differentiate depends upon the isolation and identification of virus, and also we have to differentiate from cutaneous thylaxis. And bovine mammalitis also it implicates, and even cowpox also. And dermatophilus, you can see the lesions on the skin. It resembles almost skin lesions. And photosensitization reactions also we can see in the skin. And when if any doubt is there, we have to collect these samples from the scabs or blood or nasal swabs, and we have to send to the laboratory for final diagnosis. The treatment aspect, mainly because it's a new disease in the field, so many of the veterinarians and paraveterinarians are confused with the allergic reactions. And many of our fellow veterinarians are asking, come up with a specific treatment for this disease, consultation with the, especially the homeopathy doctors here, because they have, before onset of this disease in Karnataka, it was very severe in Kerala, and they have tried and they came up with a treatment protocol. And as such, because it's a viral disease, there is no specific treatment for this disease. Non-specific treatment only you have to give. You have to give antibiotics, anti-inflammatory drugs, and then treating the secondary bacterial infections mainly, and inflammation is fewer, and improvement of the appetite and appetite. As far as the antibiotics are concerned, even simple penicillins will do, but we have to give treatment for 10 days, and it's not possible for a veterinarian to attend these animals continuously for 10 days, and farmers are also burdened. So what is important is we have to give any antibiotic which is long acting, and our frequent usage should be. So we have tried in the field with long acting tetracyclines once in 3 days, because its blood level will be there for 3 days, 7 hours. Any long acting streptopenicillin, dexamethasone for 5 days treatment is one course of antibiotics is sufficient, or no more antibiotics are required. And what is additional the immunostimulants. Is a very good old immunomodulator. And we have to give levels of 15 ml and 2 injections every 3 days course. And as of course, multivitamins and microminerals will help in easing the healing process. And then coming to the ethno-veterinary medicine. Now, because of the antimicrobial resistance and presence of drug residues in the milk, problem now, NDDP has come out with very good treatment aspects, especially with ethno-veterinary medicines, where farmers themselves can apply these treatment aspects as a complement to the treatment. And come to the ethno-veterinary medicine, Dr. Punyamurthy is a famous veterinary professor from the Tamil Nadu University. The NDDP has given some formulations for this. For this disease, it is suggested that bitter leaves 10, black pepper 10 grams, and rock salt 10 grams, and blend with a fistful of the jaggery. And this is for one dose. And you have to, first day you have to give for 5 doses first day, and from second day onwards you have to give 3 doses in a day, at least 10 to 15 days. Because we know that black pepper is an antiviral, has antiviral properties, and 50% of the cases were cured even without antibiotics with these preparations. And now farmers are adopting this method of treatment because it is a very homely and doesn't cost much. And coming to the homeopathic treatment, there is 2 stages involved in this disease process. In the first stage, we see nodules all over the body or some parts, and swelling of the lymph nodes, and swelling limbs in some animals. and the slight fever from 103 to 106, anorexia will be there, and of course reduction of milk is a common. It is recommended by a senior homeopaths, Arsenicum album and Merxa, daily 1 dose for 5 days, and Scopullaria nodosa, 30 in 200 potency, daily 2 doses for 5 days. So these two medicines has to be done for a period of 10 days. In 10 days period, nodule size will come down. If any rupture is there, any discharge will come out. And finally, on 10th day, tubercular one, which is a nose swab prepared from the tubercular organisms. And you have to be on the 10th day, and you have to repeat once in a week for a period of 3 weeks, so that further disease will not recur again. Come to the second stage of symptoms. Most of the times, farmers will come to the doctor after 5 days, 6 days. Because once this is seen, they come to the doctors. At this stage, nodules all over the body are swelling will be seen, and bursting of the external nodules we see. And losing of blood, serous secretions, and which will burst. And when moderate fever, further reduction of the milk will, anorexia and cachexia also. At this treatment also, the first drug should be given arsenicum album for 2 days, daily 4 doses, and graphite. Whenever there is a bursting stage of these nodules, graphite is the drug of choice as recommended, daily 2 doses for 3 days, and Tuja. Tuja is a drug which eliminates all the toxins from the body. So this will have to be 2 doses for 2 days. And one precaution should be taken, Tuja should not be given in the pregnant women. And fourth medicine, like tubercular 1 also should be given in this stage also for 1 dose for 7th day, and you have to repeat again once in a week, 3 weeks to prevent further recurrence. And especially washing, whenever there is a bursting of this, especially in legs and any other parts, you have to wash these wounds with the pipi lotion and apply calendula ointment. Calendula ointment of homeopathy medicine is very good for very good healing agent. And another thing is immunobooster. The Ayush department has recommended mixture of these 5 herbal extracts. We are very familiar with the tulsi, ashwagandha, kamakastura, and amrutapati. These extracts are available in homeopathy as a mother tinctures, and these 5 mother tinctures can be mixed and given to the animals, 2.5 ml in the morning and 2.5 ml in the evening. Mix echinacea mother tincture is also very good blood purifier as well as immunomodulator. These medicines can be given in the morning and evening for the period of 15 days. Will boost the resistance power in the recovery. Prevention. See, in any herd, 1 or 2 animals initially there, and we can protect the other animals from the recurrence of these diseases using these 2 medicines. Variolinum is nothing but it is a nose of the poxvirus. Another arsenicum medicine was taken for treatment, also works as a preventive. We are aware that Ayush department has recommended arsenicum album 30 potency for coronavirus. So like that, this viral disease in very acute conditions, in animals also, this medicine gives protection against the virus. So arsenicum 1 is a metal soap. You have to alternate this arsenicum 1 and very in alternate days for 3 weeks. Each medicine you have to give 5 days, 5 times course. And it protects the animals in a risk zone especially, and cause stimulation of the immune system. And as suggested by the director AHED, no goatpox vaccine, as recommended by Government of India also, goatpox vaccine can be used to prevent this disease in a large scale. So they have also agreed to give this goatpox vaccine to the people. And what is happening for vaccination is we have to identify the infected villages and we isolate them, and we have to take care of the re-vaccination 5 kilometers around the affected villages, and we have to vaccinate the cattle, buffaloes above 4 months of age. And the goatpox vaccine is available IHUD, and you have to give indent through animal husbandry department. You have to give 2 ml. 1 ml is recommended for goats, and it's 2 ml and subcutaneous route, and that vaccinate the affected animals. And another control measures we have to take is fly control. Many fly control insecticides are available, and we have to avoid flies to spreading further to the other animals. Conclusion is, as there is no adverse reaction at the site of the injections, no anaphylaxis will be seen. Vaccine is very safe in early stage of pregnancy. As recommended, 2 ml subcutaneous we have to use there is effective disinfection of fly control is critical. Combined therapy, either with ethnoveterinary, we have to give antibiotics to prevent secondary infection. But again, as a complementary therapy, you have to use either ethnoveterinary medicine or homeopathy. And supplement with better nutrition and anti-stress herbal available in the market. I was thankful for the director IHUD and the faculty for giving me the valuable inputs. Department of Animal Husbandry training the Government of India for giving directions to use Codefax and Center for Food Security and Public Health. And finally, Dr. Nadeem sir, the beloved professor, for giving this opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Krishna Reddy. It was so nice of you to have shared your experiences. I think it was very comprehensive idea about how to approach this LSD by a field veterinarian at the spot. So thank you very much. Your sharing of this experience, I think it would be of immense use to the field veterinarians. I once again thank you very much, and I'm sure I'll get back to you for field-oriented problems like, I think probably very next program we shall have a discussion on mastitis, and I think the fresh graduates who are in the field will be looking forward for seniors like you, to shape up their career. Thank you very much, Dr. Krishna Reddy, and thank you all the viewers for your patience, and I would request you to get back to me with your feedback so that we can make this program as purposeful as possible, involving expert in each and every specialized section, so that it can be of use to the field veterinarians in particular and in general to the profession and the farming community. Thank you very much. Thank you once again.